Dear students, today I will be discussing with you very important part of the history. History, which is a very important part for the civil services aspirants, both in the UPSC as well as in the state services. Most important aspect of the history is its sources, from where we come to know about the history. And today I will be discussing with you the sources part 1. Sources are of 3 types: literary, epigraphic, and numismatic. Numismatic is a study of coins. Epigraphic is inscriptions, excavations by the various archaeologists in the past of the history. Literary is literature. Literature is of 2 types. One is religious literature, and the second is the secular literature or the traditional literature. Literary sources is in abundance in the Indian history. Firstly, we will be discussing the literary sources, and in literary sources we will be discussing firstly the religious literature. Religious literature is according to the religions. By and large, in the world, there are 8 religions, and all took place in Asia only. 4 in India and 4 in the West Asia or the Middle East. In India, it is Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. In the Middle East, Islam, Christianity, Zoroastrians, and the Jews. Firstly, we will be discussing the religious literature of the Hindus or Hinduism. The religious literature of Hinduism is both Vedic and non-Vedic. Vedic literature includes among various others that is Shruti. Shruti is a Sanskrit word which means what is heard, and the second is Smriti, what is remembered. Shruti literature doesn't have any authors. It is believed to be a divine recording of the cosmic sounds of truths heard by the various rishis from time to time. Shruti includes the 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Atharva Veda. Smriti, the second that is in authority to Shruti, was compiled by various rishis. Prominent among them are Manu, like Manu Smriti, Yajnavalkya, Yajnavalkya Smriti, Prashara Smriti. Shruti is composed in the Vedic, Sanskrit, and Smriti in the Lakukika Sanskrit. Lakukika means Sanskrit spoken by the people. The works of Smriti are the law books, that is the Dharma Shastras. The non-Vedic literature includes the epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, 18 Puranas, and so on. And firstly, we'll discuss the Shruti literature of the Hinduism. Vedas. Veda is derived from the Sanskrit word Vid, which means knowledge. It means all these Vedas are having a full knowledge. They are full of knowledge. and Rig Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest Veda. It is thought to be compiled by rishis of a particular class called the Hotris. It contains 1028 shlokas and divided into the 10 mandala or chapters or parts. First and the 10th is supposed to be the later edition. 2nd to 7th are the oldest. The famous Gayatri mantra derives from the Rig Veda. In the 10th mandala, there is one shlok called Purushukta. It is the shloka which explains for the first time the history. In history, for the first time, the society divided into the Varna system or the caste system. In this shloka, it is written that from the mouth of the Brahma, the Brahmanas originated. From the shoulders of the Brahma, Lord Brahma, the Kshatriyas originated. And from the thighs of the Brahma, the Vaishyas originated. And from the feet of the Brahma, the Shudras originated. The four Varnas were first of all explained in this, the Shloka Purushukta, which is the part of the 10th mandala. Samaveda, the second Veda. It is derived from the Sanskrit word Saman, which means melody. It means this Veda deals with the music. Yajurveda. Yajurveda is also called the ritual Veda. It explains the sacrifices, rituals from time to time. And it is further divided into the white Yajurveda and the black Yajurveda. The fourth one is Atharvaveda. It is believed to be that this Veda was written by Rishi Atharva. It explains about the spells, charms, incantations. So these are the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. The next is the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the supplementaries to the Vedas. They explain the Vedas in the more simpler manner. At least one Brahmana is attached to the one Veda. For example, to Rig Veda, it is Aitriya and Kaustiki Brahmana. And to Sam Veda, it is Jamniya and Tandya Mahabrahmana. To Yajurveda, it is the Satpat Brahmana, and to the Atharvaveda, it is the Gopat Brahmana. Next is Aryankas. Aryankas are the further commentaries on the Vedas. They explain the Vedas in the more simpler manner. It is derived from the Sanskrit word Aranya, means the huge forests. These books are also known as the jungle books. These are written by rishis along with their students while sitting in the huge jungles. This is a very valuable literature of the Hinduism. The next is Upanishada. It is derived from the Sanskrit word Upanish, which means to sit near someone. They are number in 108 and composed between 800 BC to 500 BC. This literature, Upanishadas, explains about the philosophy of Hinduism. And one of the Upanishada, that is Mundaka Upanishad, speaks about the word Satyameva Jayate. This word is derived from this word, this Upanishada, that is Mundaka Upanishad. Then comes the Puranas. They are 18 in number, and most of them, they were written during the Gupta period. They explain the mythology of the Hinduism. Some of the important Puranas are Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran, Agni Puran, Brahma Puran, and so on. Next is the epics. There are two epics. One is Ramayana and another is Mahabharata. Ramayana was written by Rishi Valmiki at a place called Ramtirath near Amritsar in Punjab. It was written in Sanskrit language. In the 16th century, there was another Ramayana written by Goswami Tulsidas, that is Ramcharit Manas. It was written at a place called Chitrakoot in UP by the scholar Goswami Tulsidas. This Ramcharitmanas was compiled in the one of the parts, you can say, the group of the Hindi. And it was in the local dialect called Avadhi. It contains 7 chapters. And the 7th chapter, which deals with the Love Kush episode, is not explained in the Ramayana written by Rishi Valmiki. The next is Mahabharata. Mahabharata, it was compiled by Rishi Vedas. Its original name was Jai Samhita or Vijay Samhita. Samhita is a Sanskrit word which means collection of hymns. Originally it contains 24,000 shloks. Later on there were more and more shloks were added and they were raised to 48,000 and its name was Bharat. And finally the shloks were raised to 1 lakh and it was called Mahabharata. Or the Satsari Samhita. It is the longest poem in the world. This Mahabharata contains one very important part, one very important chapter of this book, that is Gita or Bhagavad Gita. These are the shloks explained by Lord Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Bhagavad Gita is in Sanskrit. This is about my today's lecture, that is the Shruti literature. In second part, we'll be doing the Smriti literature. Thank you very much.